Welcome back to North Wales in Anglesey for Thundersport Elite, the Bike Insura Thundersport GP1 on class. And look, it's like a different place, isn't it? The mist has gone and the sun is out. Beautiful scenes here, as we just saw Jess Traylor there, fourth on the grid. Danny Murphy, Superstock 1000 leader, third on the grid. There's Jonathan Lodge, who will be looking to close up on John Ingram. He wasn't quite able to catch John, and John mentioned in his interview, after winning that last race, taking the lap record and the championship lead, that he was looking to gap the rest of the field in the early laps and then hold on to it again. Further back, I see that it's a terrible start for Phil Crowe, who desperately needs to try and close down on John Ingram, well, more for damage limitation than anything else, so that he can enter Mallory Park, our next round, with a chance of getting him in the championship. But Ingram once again gets the whole shot ahead of Jonathan Lodge. Lodge does look a bit closer this time. And once more, it's Danny Murphy third, Jess Traylor fourth, Peter Baker, the reigning champion, in fifth place. And then I think it's Watson that's got himself off to a brilliant start there, as well as John Robb. So decent start for a few of these riders. A bit of fighting and jostling going on into Rocket. That does happen, and Danny Murphy really lost out there. Jess Traylor managed to get past him, and Peter Baker as well. So a couple of places lost there for him. Barry Teasdale, of course, who went down in race one, number 224. Keep an eye out for him. He will be looking to get himself on the Superstock 1000 podium. But there, Peter Baker, a decent start for Pete. And he's looking to now close the gap up to the leaders. They'll have a job on, though, because Lodgy and Ingram out front have been so quick here this weekend. Jonathan Lodge, well, he'll be quite happy that the sun has come out. Track temperature's now a bit warmer as well, so expect to see the lap records going. We see that battle there for third, continuing. Jess Traylor at the moment has the advantage. And Jess, you will actually see from his bike, has actually got the same sponsor as Pete Baker. Pete Baker's sponsor, Morello Services, also sponsor Jess Traylor at British Championship level. So Pete will be eager to get himself in that Kawasaki of his ahead of Jess, even if Jess isn't featuring in the championship. Jonathan Lodge has got himself ahead of John Ingram. Well, things you never thought you'd hear in this race here in GP1. Ingram has got a fight on his hands now. In terms of the championship, of course, he could probably let Jonathan Lodge go away and win this one, and it won't really affect him, but that's not the way John will see this. He sees anyone as a target, and Jonathan Lodge has looked mustard here this weekend on that Kawasaki stock bike it is. They make their way onto the start-finish straight. Really quick lap times already. They're both down into the 108s. I mentioned before the lap record was a 108.9. Well, I've got to say that these two guys, if they keep on like this, they're actually probably likely to get down into the 107s. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Well, once again on the opening lap, we lost Chris Barnes. I'm not sure if he's had a mechanical or if he's gone. Oh my word, John Ingram! That's about as much dirt as you want to take up there. He's lucky to stay on the machine, but he's kicked up a lot of dirt, and he's lost, what, 2 or 3 tenths as a result of that. But Ingram really playing with the grass there on the outside of Church Corner. That could be really nasty, but he stays on the machine. He's got to regain his focus. Unusual to see mistakes coming from John Ingram, maybe feeling the pressure here a little bit from Jonathan Lodge, his younger race rival. Of course, Jonathan's brother James competes in the Super Stock 600 class at British Championship level, and he's not here this weekend. He was racing over at Cadwell BSB. And Ingram there maintained second place. There's still Traylor in third, Baker fourth, Danny Murphy in fifth place. Got Phil Crowe struggling at the moment, trying to get past Barry Teasdale, which I understand he has done, but then he's now got a situation where he is just a couple of seconds behind Danny Murphy as he tries to close that gap. Angelo De Rosa and Neil Watson still in the frame inside the top 10. Carl Simpson's having a good run out, number 16. Up in the top 10, Fisher, Walls, Watling, Critchlow, Hill, Connell, Lennon, O'Grady. There is number 123, Danny Murphy, just fighting it out there with John Robb, number 111. John Robb from Stockport on the on-track EMTT Suzuki. Not seen much of John racing with us, but he's certainly proving to be a tasty customer here, although Danny Murphy just pushes him out wide there into the corkscrew and regains position. This is the battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th, so really good effort and good start from John Robb, who started this race from 8th on the grid. But just looking at the lap times there, Jonathan Lodge, that's a 107.895. No, sorry, it's John Ingram with a 107.895. Wow, that's not only the GP1 lap record for Thundersport, but I'm going to have to check my records. Yeah, it is. It is the fastest ever outright lap record at Anglesey. It's gone. The fastest ever man around Anglesey, John Ingram. That's on 2 wheels, I should just add. But wow, there you go. Well, Ingram then showing that he means business here. The championship leader overall, trying to close down on Jonathan Lodge out front. At the moment, if he stays in 2nd place and Phil Crowe stays in 6th, then he'll extend his lead by another 10. So he will get himself a 20-point lead, something like that, heading into Mallory Park. There is Phil Crowe, just up ahead of Barry Teasdale, who's staying on the saddle this time. There's Danny Murphy once more, 1, 2, 3, the rider from Rochdale. Started out as a super team with us, did Danny Murphy in 2008. Then in, sorry, I think it was actually 2009 he started with us. In 2010 he was in the Aprilia 450 Championship. And he was battling for that title, but in the end that went to Ben Gautry, who sadly lost his life a couple of years ago at Cadwell. And Danny then moved up into British Superstock 600s and didn't really work out for him. He had a couple of promising results here and there, just didn't quite happen for him. And he made the decision that not many riders have the insight to do, and that was to actually take a step backwards, come back into Thundersport, get some track time on a 600. Then he won last year's 600 championship. This year he's moved on to that Superstock 1000 machine and he's leading that championship as well. But you're looking there at Jess Traylor, currently 3rd in this race. Jess is lapping in the low 109s, but it's not enough to keep up with those guys out front, not when they're setting lap records and outright lap records. And it's still Lodge that leads from Ingram, despite the fact that Ingram's posted that monumental lap. He cannot get the better of Jonathan Lodge. And Jonathan Lodge himself has done a 108.1, so these are really quick lap times that we're seeing here from these guys. And in particular, you have to be impressed with Lodgy, because that is a standard bike that he's on there. As they come around Rocket, there is Lodge leading from John Ingram. Ingram will be desperate to get 25 points. It really will help him overall. Of course, it's worth remembering that despite the fact that you see, of course, the 3 GP1 riders on the podium and the 3 Superstock 1000 riders on the podium, the points are in order as to where they finish. So John Ingram would only receive 20 GP1 points here, despite the fact that he would be the man on the top step in the GP1 class. So at the moment, it's just 20 points for Ingram, and Jonathan Lodge is going to be the winner. But you can see here that Ingram may be just lining up sort of a decent line out of the banking and up towards Church, going to try and use the power of that Suzuki to get himself out front. Here he comes through Church here, hellishly quick right-hander this. Not a place you want to be coming off, and this is where John Ingram kicked up the dirt earlier on, and then flat out through the gears, on your knee, up the hill, ready for Rocket. There's Angelo De Rosa further back, just behind... I'm not sure who that was actually. Was that Mark Hodson, someone like that he's behind as they're just coming around and into, sorry, no, completely wrong. It's Carl Simpson out there on the BMW that he's coming up behind, Angelo. He's got company as well, because John Fisher is joining him. John, who had a massive crash at Thundersport GB a few years ago and is back this year. Nice to see him, and Angelo's already gone past him. Yeah, it is Carl Simpson there on the BMW. Same colour scheme as Phil Crowe's bike, so I just wonder if that's Phil Crowe's spare bike. As they go around Peel down in towards the corkscrew. This is the fight for 9th, 10th and 11th place overall. I understand Brian Campbell's gone AWOL, number 69, and Richie Connell also. Richie Connell, who would have been just trying to get some laps in, ready for his 600 race. Of course, we'll bring you that final 600 race after the break when this race is finished. At the moment, it's still Jonathan Lodge that has the lead ahead of John Ingram. Those two fighting it out for glory. It's then some 7, 8, 9 seconds. The gap back to Jess Traylor, who's still got Peter Baker to deal with, who's in 4th place, Danny Murphy 5th, Phil Crow is still ahead of Barry Teasdale, 6th and 7th. Phil, who is desperate, oh, and there's a rider down, and that's John Robb, he's gone down, and that's such a shame. He had such a great start to this race. He was fighting with some of the front guys, and you can see there, he knew that he had a chance of a decent result here. And, well, now he knows that he's all right. It's a good chance just to make sure the ignition's off the bike and he wanders off. This is the fight for the overall win, though. Jonathan Lodge doing his best to fend off John Ingram. A bit of a rear-end wobble coming out of the banking there. Ingram really is pushing it. Well, I mean, that speaks for itself, really. The fact that they've just broken the outright lap record of Anglesey should tell you just how far they're pushing this. And as they come up the hill, it is one of those circuits where even if you've got the more powerful machine, it's not necessarily an advantage, because this isn't a massive long straight. It's hard to get tucked up in slipstream. And at the moment, Lodge is flying through these twisty bits. John Ingram is trying to find a way past. It looks like Ingram might just be closing in a bit in the apex of the corners, but then he's got this Kawasaki right in his way, so he can't get round it. They come through the corkscrew, and John's just trying all sorts of different lines, trying to give himself the best possible angle, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen here. And as they come across the start-finish line and down into turn 1, it's still Lodge from Ingram, but Ingram here charging up towards banking, but he's on the wrong side. And Lodge takes the defensive line and it works, but Ingram here is running out of patience. He's not got long to go here. He's got to pull the pin soon. If he's going to play his card, it's got to be now. He gets right onto the back wheel of Lodge, and now he's got to get the power on the back straight here. He's got to try and somehow get into the slipstream, try and make a move, but Lodge is going to fend that place off into Rocket. It's not going to happen there. Lodge really late on the brakes, and John Ingram's running out of places to do this now. There's a possibility he might be able to do it into the corkscrew. He can't do it into Peel. It's not a place you can overtake. But on the run down to the corkscrew, he can do it there. But he's got to be closer than he is here, and he's not close enough. He's not close enough, and Lodge it is that still leads through the corkscrew. I have seen moves done into the last corner at Club, but you have got to be big, brave, bold, and it's not happening for John Ingram. And as they come up onto the start-finish straight, down into turn 1, Jonathan Lodge has seen the last lap flag. He's only got to fend him off one more time now. They go down into the banking. John Ingram, he will try and get as close to the back of Jonathan Lodge as he can. He's pushing the bike, it's chattering at the front end. He can't keep up with him, and maybe his tyres are just starting to drop off. We've had 12 laps of this. Onto the back straight again we go. He's not close enough, I don't think, to make a move up into Rocket, but he's going to have a go anyway. Jonathan Lodge is last of the late breakers, and it's still Lodgey that has it. And Ingram here really has just got one last place to do this. If he doesn't do it into the corkscrew, I think that's going to be it. Jonathan Lodge here, trying to power his super stock Kawasaki home to a win. Down into the corkscrew, and it looks like he's done enough. Ingram here has been frustrated, he's been quick, he's got the new outright lap record, but it's not enough to win the race. And around Club Corner, Jonathan Lodge will be delighted with that. He takes the win here in race 2. Good race that. There he is, checkered flag out. Jonathan Lodge wins it ahead of John Ingram. Ingram will extend his championship lead that he's gained this weekend. Jess Traylor, well, we've had to wait a few seconds for him, but he has got across the line in third. Peter Baker, not quite on the podium. You'll see him on the GP1 podium, but he's 4th overall ahead of Danny Murphy, who will extend his Superstock 1000 championship lead in 5th place there. Phil Crow has had a frustrating weekend there. 6th place for Phil. He's going to have to improve at Mallory Park, otherwise this championship he will have to kiss goodbye to. Barry Teasdale 7th ahead of Neil Watson. Angelo De Rosa there in 9th place, and then Carl Simpson 10th. There's the points, as I said, 20 points between Ingram and Crow. Don't count out Danny Murphy just yet either. This one's going all the way in the Bike Insurer Thundersport GP1 class. Let's have a look at them on the podium then, and first up, let's have a word with GP1 winner John Ingram.
GP1 winner John Ingram, a good race. You just got beat to the line there. It was very close between you two, but still, you've had such a good weekend with your lap records, and you're now leading the championship going into Mallory.
Yeah, I mean, that was a cracking race. It was nice actually to have a race with someone. When he came past me, it was unfamiliar, to be honest. I missed a few apexes because I couldn't see because of him, and I've not been used to that round here. So I just had to regroup a bit. I lost maybe a second on him, and that's where the lap record would have come from, because I would have had to have dug deep for it. But you know, it's a second place, but a good race, and that's probably the best race of the weekend, and it wasn't a win, so that says a lot about the sport. I'd just like to thank young Josh and Sean. They're helping me with the bike this weekend. And just going back to the race, it was just nice to have a look at Jonathan before the last race, which is the money race. So at least I know, where he's stronger than me and where I'm stronger than him, so I can come up with another game plan, a plan B, shall we call it. But yeah, thanks Dennis and Fred. Family's here this weekend, we're all enjoying it, and Thundersport's a great paddock to be in.
Well done to you then. Let's catch up with the overall winner then. Great one from Lodgy.
Jonathan Lodge, Superstock winner, but a close battle there with John Ingram. You just managed to get him. Tell us about that race. It was so close between you.
Yeah, it was good. I got a fairly good start, and I just got my head down. I caught him, passed him into the banking over there, and I just tried to get my head down, put consistent times in, and just try not to make any mistakes. Let him on, because it's quite a difficult place to pass here. So just got my head down and just pinned it to the line, really. But no, it was a really good race. I enjoyed it. So yeah, brilliant.
Good results for you this weekend. Any sponsors to thank?
As usual, all lads at Earnshaw's Motorcycles, Sean at Motor Breakers, Statics View, and Diesel Lift.
Well, one race still to come. Join us again after the break for race 2 in the Van Insurer 600 Sportsman Elites.